Hello and welcome to EZGlutenFree. Today I'll be showing FaveHealthyRecipes.com how to make these delicious chocolate scones. And I'll be using those scones to make these little chocolate strawberry shortcakes. Now I'm making the basic recipe today, but if I were making these to serve by themselves instead of the foundation for this strawberry shortcake recipe, I'd probably stir in either some white chocolate chips or semi-sweet chips, or some nuts, or even some dried fruit. But in this dessert, you want to keep the textural elements down to a minimum so they won't compete with the berries and whipped cream. Alright, to make these scones you'll need 1½ cups of gluten-free Bisquick. If you're not following a gluten-free diet, you can just substitute this list of ingredients. You'll also need 1/2 cup of unsweetened cocoa powder that you've sifted, 1/3 of a cup of sugar, 5 tablespoons of cold diced butter, 2/3 of a cup of milk, or you could use half and half, or even heavy cream for a higher calorie, but also a little more decadent scone, 3 eggs, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and some coarse decorating sugar to sprinkle on top. Okay, now first, preheat the oven to 425 degrees, and either grease a baking sheet or line it with either a silicone mat or parchment paper. Now in a large bowl, stir together the Bisquick or flour mixture, whichever you're using, with the cocoa and sugar until it's well combined. Add the cold butter, and using either a pastry cutter, 2 knives, or even by pinching the butter between your fingers, work the butter into the dry mixture until you have a texture resembling coarse crumbs. Then set it aside. In a medium bowl, add the milk or heavy cream, whichever you're using, with the eggs and vanilla, and whisk them together until well combined. Now add this mixture to the dry ingredients bowl, and mix until you have a soft dough, almost like a very thick cake batter. Now drop 6 large dollops of the dough onto the baking sheet. You're going to want to try and get a pretty rounded shape. Then sprinkle them with the coarse sugar, and bake them for 11 to 13 minutes. When they come out of the oven, let them cool in the pan for a minute, then remove them with a spatula onto the baking rack to cool completely. While they're cooling, if you're making strawberry shortcakes, wash and slice 3 cups of strawberries and stir them together with 2 tablespoons of sugar. When the scones are completely cool, use a serrated knife to cut them in half, then top them with the berries and some whipped cream, and this dessert is ready to serve. Now these shortcakes turned out pretty large, so if you wanted to, you could divide the dough into 8 instead of 6. But then I'd knock a minute or 2 off the baking time. Another great idea is to do this with cherries instead of the strawberries, like a Black Forest cake. However you want to make them, I hope you'll give them a try. And if you'd like to see the recipe in print, you could always visit my blog. And for additional recipes and tips to fit in with your healthy lifestyle, visit my friends at FaveHealthyRecipes.com. See you again soon.